Hey, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. I bet you were talking about that this weekend. KC Kicker, not KC Masterpiece. That's the barbecue sauce. Thank you very much. I'm talking about their kicker, Harrison Butker. And he made some comments. He went back to the college, as a Catholic college that he graduated from, and he extolled the virtues of choosing women to be a homemaker.
For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Kind of sweet. Now, if you're a modern-day fourth-wave feminist, that's not very sweet. That's the worst thing you've ever heard. Who would be against that? Well, I'm always interested in revisiting stories a few days after they've been reported, because the story is one thing. The people's reaction to it I find far more fascinating, because who can see that and have a problem with it? I need to know who you are. And they identify themselves so willingly. Let me tell you something. I'm going to play some criticisms here, but what you're not going to hear in any of these criticisms is statistics or facts or anything that's scientific or pragmatic or just applied to the real world. No one's bringing up any facts or stats that show that stay-at-home moms is not a desirable lifestyle. They could have stats. They could bring up stats that show that kids with working moms had a better outcome when it comes to grades or education or athletics or mental health or physical health or the likelihood of criminality. Where are those stats? Y'all didn't bring them up this weekend. Oh, do you not have them? Because we have good stats that show a child that is born to his biological parents and raised with a nuclear family around him to age 18 happens to do a lot better. And we can tell you how much better they do. Now, that is just by having both of your parents in the house, not having doesn't address the working mom stuff. But where are those stats? Go look them up. It's tough to look up. Why? I don't think that's a road they want to pursue very much. Who on earth can really make the case that the kids would be better off if the mom works when she doesn't need to? You can make an economic argument. If the mom doesn't go to work, then they don't have the basic necessities of life. They don't have school supplies. They don't have whatever. Single moms, you don't have a choice. You're off the hook. No one holds any ill will to you for being a working mom. We understand that's the lot you in life you got, and too bad you don't have a better guy with you. Wish you did. You're off the hook. But for these people who are in an affluent situation and the mom doesn't need to work, she only wants to work for what? Self-fulfillment, to maintain a higher standard of living so you can still live in the subdivision on the golf course with the clubhouse and not in a regular old blue-collar neighborhood. I mean, why are you really working? Are you doing this for you? Are you doing what's better for you, or are you doing what's better for your kids? Because at some point, once you go up that economic ladder, now it's no longer what's better for you. Staying at home would be better for your kids. Going to work would be better for you. Does anyone make that point? I just want to bring all this up before I play you the audio, because they're never going to tell you what's best for the kids. They're never going to tell you that. So one of the critics, and I watched a lot of them, she's just good because she's nice and articulate and bright sounding, and she's saying a lot of the same things other people are saying. She used to be a cheerleader for Kansas City, and she's saying, listen, you don't have to listen to Butker, not because what he's saying is wrong. He's just saying this because he's privileged. That's all. It's just...
My video addressing my favorite former coworker, Harrison Butker, has popped off. And I'm about it, because now I am a voice for the people that he attacked. And since the...
Attacked? Who got attacked? There was no attack. He didn't call anyone dumb or stupid or slow or failed or losers. He just said, hey, man, the greatest gift my wife has given me is being a stay-at-home mom. That's
Mainstream
it.
media is going to use whatever content they want. I thought I might as well dress up and give them a formal speech. It has never been about whether or not a woman should stay home with her family. If that is the best decision for her, do you. If you want to have a career, do you. If you want to do both, pop off. Do you.
Okay, do you is not a convincing argument. There's no facts there. There's not even anecdotal evidence. There's not a hypothesis. There's not an application of ideas. Just do you. No, don't do you. One's better than the other. Not all behaviors are equal. See, this is the moral relativism that the Evan Sayet theory explains so well. Do you.
My issue lies when entitled men in positions of privilege, such as Harrison Butker.
Excuse me, that's not a position of privilege. He did not inherit that title of nobility from his father, who was the previous kicker for Kansas City. He had to go out and he had to work out and he had to stay in shape and he had to practice kicking and he had to beat all the other people that were doing the same thing who had dedicated their life to being the best kicker possible. This is not a position of privilege. This is a position of accomplishment. This is a position of merit. You are embarrassing yourself. Just because he's a white male doesn't mean he gets to be dismissed and all the success he has can be explained away by privilege. Privilege? He's in a league that's 70% black and he's a white guy. That seems like he's going against the grain. That doesn't seem like there's privilege there. How is it privilege?
Uses a graduation speech to put a woman in her place.
What woman? His wife? What woman did he put in her place? Put in her place? Saying you can find fulfillment being a homemaker. Who? Who's being put in their place?
Instead of congratulating her on her accomplishments. Are you shocked at some of his public supporters? I was not, because something these people all have in common, privilege.
That's right.
The harsh reality is that majority of Americans cannot support their family on a single income. Those little bundles of joys are expensive. So telling a bunch of women that that's when their life begins, well, I guess it depends if they're privileged or not.
Bet she's single. You know, Harrison Butker had some advice for men too. That didn't get played because that doesn't make him look like an evil woman-hating bigot.
It is only in the past few years that I have grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity. Fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better.
Coming up next, you have a chance to win Dave Matthews Band tickets on Dead or Alive. That's next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.